We are
live
on the Facebooks and the YouTubes.
All the public things.
All the things you can watch us be inappropriate on. Welcome. This is Bourbon and Blondes podcast, Drunk Quarantine, Blitz with Bourbon and Blondes. Basically, we got drunk, couldn't pick a name, so here we are. We have lots of names. We're all drinking. We have a guest today, but first, let's go around and say what we're drinking. I am drinking, where is it? Tequila and smoked simple syrup.
Where's the camera?
It's the wrong side. Una Vida. It's backwards for all of you listening.
Oh, I'm
the añejo. Oh, it's so good.
You can read it.
Yeah, it's just backwards. Okay. And then Elena, and then we'll introduce Kelsey and what she's drinking.
So I actually made myself another bourbon renewal because that's my jam these days. What did I use? I used the Turkey 101 that we just used on the podcast.
Yes, the podcast will be out next week, so listen to that too.
That we did the podcast with Kelsey. Kelsey's on right now. And what are you drinking, Kelsey?
It's a mystery drink that my friend made me and delivered. It might be roofied. Who knows?
We'll find out quickly.
Make for a good night. That actually sounded a little rapey. Sorry.
We have a little old man Forester wrapped up in here too.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Okay, so we just recorded an episode with Kelsey, and she's going to be our guest here on Drunk Quarantine. And Kelsey is our health and wellness and balance expert. So Kelsey, tell us something about who you are and what you do.
Best life in a box.
I need one of those.
Yeah,
Can
right.
it be delivered.
Yeah. So I am a health and wellness nutrition coach, but overall, I really just teach people how to balance out their life with healthy habits. So we really focus on not focusing so hard on dieting or getting down as a means to an end or exercising as a means to an end, but actually enjoying the process and just making sure that you're focusing on that consistency and healthy habits so that you're not focusing on the wrong things and kind of crashing and cycling over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Very important these days while we're not allowed to leave our homes.
Yes.
And give us a little bit of background on where we can find you, website, Instagram, social media.
Yeah, so my social media, I am on the gram. So you can find me on Instagram at Barbell Balance. And then barbellbalance.com, which is my website. And you can learn a little bit more about my credentials and all the fun stuff. And then also a couple more pieces of information on that blog.
You guys, Kelsey's Instagram, Barbell Balance, there's a photo on there of her going ham on a Lion's Choice sandwich, and it makes me so happy.
As a matter of fact, I did a photo shoot at Lion's Choice. I have harassed them so many times that they finally commented back to me on the Instagram because I was like, sponsor me. Like, how genius would it be for a fast food restaurant to sponsor a nutritionist? Like, come on. Missed opportunity.
I mean,
can we talk really quickly about French fries while we have a second?
They're the best food group on this planet.
Yeah, Abby alluded to them being her first food group the other day. It's French fries and I think maybe meat and then vegetables and fruit's only in her cocktails. So
yes, as it should be.
What's our favorite French fries in terms of, because Lion's Choice, I think, awesome sandwich. Their French fries are más o menos. They're okay. It's not.
You have to go to the one off Watson for the good French fries.
Okay, duly noted.
Yeah, I'm going to need to get that in writing so I remember.
They're supposed to be blanched and then quick fried, but you can tell that in some locations they do not follow the protocol. Sometimes you can get a really good batch of French fries out of the Brentwood location, if that's more central to you. A little more hit and miss, but that Watson location where mile 277 used to be, best fries, guys.
She's knowledgeable.
Oh my God, this is correct. This is why I love the fact that I met Kelsey in food service. We were packaging food, hair nets, gloves. It was the whole 10. Like it was
6 a.m.,
crazy.
So mind you, none of us had like taken any coherentness to dressing ourselves that
And
morning.
more often than not, I showed up hungover / still drunk. So it was wild. And we were like,
She's also my favorite person at work. So
yeah. Do you remember that one time we just rapped for like 8 hours to Nicki Minaj?
it was so great. It's the only way to get through packaging a bunch of food. Let me tell you.
It's the worst. So funny. Oh, I can't believe it. Well, Kelsey, we're excited to have you here on Drunk Quarantine with us.
I'm ecstatic to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're going to put you on the spot.
All right.
Explain COVID-19.
In terms of, yeah, Abby keeps saying explain COVID-19 in terms of like being a CDC, but like your experience, the good, the bad.
Yeah, just like, talk about it.
Oh.
And what the impact it's had on you.
Can I say something? Can I make a statement?
Yeah.
I think people need to stop listening to anyone who's not a medical professional about what to do right now. Wash your hands, wear your masks, still stay home.
Wear your masks. Where are you from?
Long Island.
No, it's just like we're just okay. So it's like my version. It doesn't work very well, I guess, with drunk quarantine. But it's like, okay, drunk history, drunk quarantine. Explain COVID-19. This is our drunk history.
Oh, okay. So no conspiracies.
Well, I mean, if a conspiracy plays into your experience of COVID-19,
bring
it on.
People that originally discovered COVID-19 were murdered, and the other one went missing.
Oh.
Where did you hear this?
I did not read that.
A few months ago.
Wow.
The dark web. No, I'm kidding.
The dark web.
What else can you find on the dark web? Because I have a couple items that I could order.
Right. Like, I need to put in an order, please.
Do you just Google search that? I'm curious. Just
Darkweb.com.
Well, what show is that? With the two girls that like kill the one's husband or whatever.
Dead to me. We'll get season 2.
Yes.
That's actually what I was thinking.
I can't get through it. It's giving me too much anxiety, so I had to stop.
That's actually funny you say that, because one of my girlfriends texted me and she said, "Have you watched Dead to Me?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've been horrifically binging on shows." Like when I say horrifically, yes. Dead to Me was watched within 24 hours. And that, mind you, was 10 episodes, maybe 30 to 40 minutes a piece. You do the math, but I wasn't going to do the math.
Orange is the New Black went in hard.
Yeah, I did that for the first couple of seasons. And then Little Fires Everywhere and Big Little Lies. Oh my God. They were Little Fires
Everywhere is my favorite book to date that I've ever read. So this series is like my jam.
I haven't seen or read either.
Do both.
It's good. I think Big Little Lies was a little bit better for me, but either way, I binged it like I did Dead to Me. And my girlfriend said, she was like, "I'm having issues with season 2. She's like, "I'm having some like the same with you
with a medical problem."
She was like, "I'm having such anxiety with it, and I don't know if it was the characters or what was going on." But
what it is. I know exactly what it is. It's that there'll be such a huge, monumental issue going on, but you, the viewer, are the only one that knows about it for the whole freaking episode. I can't. I'm like, tell them, they need to know. Like, they're getting in further trouble.
Nope, I love it. Yes. Secrets are the bane of my exit. I just love it. I'm like, ooh, yeah, she's got like, something coming.
Something happening, and they have no clue, and you're like, oh, hate it.
Yes,
hate it.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
It's bad.
No,
it's not bad. It's great.
Yeah,
so great.
I think you just have to honor your. So it's weird. from what we're talking about, like the quarantine, it's weird how I've gone on such a roller coaster of different things. So we talked about it on the podcast earlier when we were recording, like we love to be busy. We love the chaos. We like the up and down. We like to feel fulfilled within our work and just interacting and helping people. And so I went from working 3 jobs essentially to quarantine, limiting it down to 1. And even the 1 was limited. I mean, I still work full time, but it's still not what it was in its fullest. And so it's crazy how one week I'll like binge watch 4 seasons of something within 72 hours. And then I just have to forgive myself, right? Because I'm just like, and next week, and then the next day I can be like, I don't ever want to watch Netflix again. I fucking hate you, Netflix.
Throw away the TV.
Yep. And then 3 days later, you're like, here we are again. It's such an abusive relationship with the TV sometimes.
I was about to say, I was like, this just sounds like, being a chick, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
it's rough. It's a rough world out here, you guys.
Peanut butter. Don't touch me,
Don't look at me. Stop breathing.
Stop breathing.
We deal with like a lot of shame though of not doing a lot of stuff. So I think we deal with more roller coasters than a male does, because it's like, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing more.
For sure.
I always tell my clients, I'm like, your shoulds are not shit. So don't like focus on, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Just think about like, what can I do? What could, what are the possibilities instead of like, you piece of trash, you already messed up.
You can't talk about yourself that way. You're not trash.
Self-talk is important, which is
You're
why.
Just a little dirty. You're not trash.
Switch it up.
Yeah, exactly. I support this. My toe hurts.
For a reason, or
I think I stubbed it today. I'm sorry, I couldn't get past it. It's like throbbing out of nowhere. I think it's the tequila. I don't know.
So
maybe it's my pinky toe. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Out of all of them, I would think it's like the big toe or the second big toe.
No, I think I just break my pinky toes like monthly.
See, I would go pinky toe. That was my first guess because that's the one I always whack.
It's like every time there's a corner or a bed frame, it's like boom, pinky toe.
You miss it by a pinky toe.
Yes.
I have skis for feet. So I have like a size 10.5 shoe. So I literally run into things all the time.
You run into them or you stub your toes?
Whole foot with you. You're not just getting a pinky here and there. You're just like, which you can't really talk about with 9.5. So,
oh my God.
Throw away the whole foot.
Kelsey, let's get some value out of this. So this COVID-19, not leaving the house, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's probably developing a little bit of negative habits and weird habits. Suggestions on how to start developing healthy habits so that you can come out of this like on top.
Ooh, I mentioned this in the podcast, and so I'll shorten it to this one. Okay. Just start adding in more good. Like that's where you need to start. You don't need to start by like bringing yourself down and cutting yourself down to, oh, I'm not doing this, and beat yourself up into the ground and be like, okay, get up and succeed, mofo. You know, like that's not going to work out for you, for anyone, really.
Right.
But you have to just start adding in good, you know? So don't like beat yourself down and take out all the bad and like shame yourself for doing the same thing 100 times over. Just start forward. Just start forward because every beginning really is a new one. And that doesn't matter if like you've messed up every single minute, you know, for your entire life. And now in this next hour, you're going to make the most change that you have in a lifetime. Like allow that to come to you. If that's your moment, that's what's supposed to happen. But none of that can start unless you start focusing on like adding in a little bit of vegetables instead of taking out all the junk food out of your house and burning it at the cross in your front yard.
Let me know if you heard it.
The neighbors would come out in masks like, what are you doing?
Like we don't need to like for lack of a better word, just like shit on everything we enjoy because, you know, we need to all of a sudden in this desperate attempt try to like do something new for ourselves. So don't wait till you're desperate. Don't beat yourself down. Like, you're a human being having a human experience. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be guilty of. And then just start adding in good. So like if it's nutrition that you struggle with, just like I said in the podcast, just making sure that you start adding in good foods, not just taking out like the cake and stuff like that, but at dinner, just, you know, trying to make a little bit more well-developed of a meal. If it's
add in the good.
Yeah, if it's exercise that you're dealing with, you know, that you feel really down about, then just start adding in a little bit of activity, like get a couple of walks in during the day, or just add in 1 to 2 exercise sessions a week and build upon it. So just start putting in more of the good and don't focus on like driving yourself into the ground and beating yourself up and then going 0 to 100 and crashing over and over again.
Can you talk about like some of your struggles and some of your, like, what have you done during quarantine? Either that's the same or different. I mean, we don't have access to gyms. We don't have access to the same things that we have prior to. So like, what are some things from your personal experience that you've been doing that have helped you?
Yeah. So, you know, I've had all the same experiences that every single one of you have. I mean, like I said, we're all just human beings having a human experience. So I have most definitely like plowed through a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and cried myself to sleep a couple times, you know? Or
Flamin' Hot Cheetos are so good.
I'm so obsessed. I go in phases with things, and this one is like a hard phase. But yeah, love my food, love my snacks. But anyway, so yeah, I've like gone through that portion of things. I've gone through the let's come out this better phase of things. And from what I can say from my own experience, definitely dealing with everything that we're dealing with right now, is what helps me is just, you know, taking a couple of minutes throughout the day just to shut everything off. And I'm literally like, you know, I tell my dog to shut up.
The dog needs to go for a walk. And you're like, I need me time.
No. No, hunty, you do not have to pee that bad. So yeah, I like shut everyone out, and it's not like an act of like vicious or facetious selfishness. You know, it's just like, hey, I need a moment for me. And no matter what your situation, like, you're allowed to do that. I don't care if you are, you know, a mom of, you know, 500 gremlins. I mean, adorable angels. You know, if you have like, you know, needs of certain differences, lifestyle differences, whatever, you know, your color of story is, you always just are deserving of a moment to yourself and a moment of reflection. It's not something you have to earn. Like, you don't have to work yourself to the bone in order to earn a couple of quiet moments to yourself, like a vacation for the first time in 3 years, to say, oh, it's okay that I do this because I've earned it. Like, you get to have those reflections and have rest time and have downtime because, like, that's your human right. Like, so just take those moments, try to calm your mind down so you can really get clear on like what you can actually control and what you can't. And then just try to take it day by day, which I found in my own experience has also been helpful. Is like, if I wake up in a mood, you know, I'm not sulking in that mood, but I'm also not spending my entire day beating myself up about not being in a better mood. So just, you know, taking it as it is and not making it worse or better than it is, and just, you know, living through it.
We all wake up in those moods where like you wake up and you're like, not even coffee is going to make me enjoy anyone else today. And
you don't even have to deal with anyone else, and I don't want to deal with anyone else.
No, you're like, if the first person who emails me at work today, snip, snip, we're done. I'm out. Get me.
Delete Karen. Fuck you, Karen. We're off.
In my last week of graduate school last week, I had a horrible downfall. I really spiraled. I went off on this undergrad student in this graduate mixed undergrad level course. And I like went off on her for not citing her references. because she like said something that wasn't true and then also didn't back it up. And I was like, ah! And I was like, whoa, that was not a shining moment. Like that was not my best.
It's brutal.
But sometimes it just happens.
Well, I think that's really important because I think that we oftentimes shame ourselves for, it doesn't even matter what it is. Like I'm going to go deep here, but it could be yelling at somebody. It could be all the way from yelling at somebody to racism, right? Like it could be any huge gap. And oftentimes we shame ourselves and we're like, we shouldn't say that. But I don't think and you've talked about this a lot, Kelsey, it's not about shaming ourselves. It's about keeping ourselves in check and saying, why did you say that mentally? Like, or out loud, whatever the case is. How can
those of us that have no filter,
right? Like probably the three of us, and it's like, where is that coming from? Like, is it coming from a level of privilege? Is it coming from a level of frustration? Is it coming because I'm just a cunty bitch today and I don't know how to control it? Like, like check in with ourselves. Where is this coming from? Why are you saying this? And how can I do better? Because it's like, I think oftentimes we would just want to straight shame ourselves for what we're saying, we're doing, we're thinking, but that's not how we get better as people.
No.
Like we get better as people of talking to our friends about their feelings, thoughts, having difficult conversations, and then checking in with ourselves. And I love that. Like, I think that's so important, especially like right now, in quarantine, because we can't interact like we have historically. So it's really
I can't nod enough because I've been, like I said, I dabble in the psychology. I did. Yeah. I'm like, yes. like pigeon bird on Instagram. I post that one all the time. I love him. He's like flashing in neon and it's like, should be living in Miami. It's the best thing ever. But yeah, I think that's so important because like I said, I dabble in a bit of psychology because it did very much interest me because, you know, my family has dealt with really bad alcoholism and addiction of various sorts. So something I was always really aware of, and just, you know, they say that those who are most interested in psychology are because they're trying to figure out like what's wrong with them. So true. So that's really like where it stems from, is asking those questions. And I actually have a friend that I've developed like a really good professional and now, you know, personal relationship with, who is a psychology professional, and she is certified in that and knows a lot about that. And she just wrote a book that's called Find Your Fuck Yeah. And
hell yeah.
I love that.
She wrote it for people like us who were like, you know, these things sound really good in theory, but if there's not science behind it in my face telling me like, okay, this is the part that works, she's not going to pay attention to it. And so, you know, that's really goes into shame. And that whole discussion you were talking about is like, our brains, you know, to a degree are predictable. It's just we're feeding them unpredictable information. And that goes with forming habits, that goes with forming shame, which is really just, you know, an emphasis of guilt. If you read any of like the Brene Brown books, or if you've like dived into her TED Talks and then
love her.
You know, just sponged up everything she had to offer. She talks about this a lot, where, you know, shame is whenever we feel a deep sense of attachment to a thing that we've done. So it's not so much the thing that we've done that makes us shameful. It's how we feel about it and how we perceive ourselves, because guilt is saying like, you know, I overate versus like, I'm someone who always overeats. Like, you're identifying the action when it's guilt versus identifying like, I'm a bad person when it's shame.
Yeah.
So both of them talk about that a lot. And my friend Alexis's book, she really goes into like the like nitty gritty of how you can build that relationship with yourself, like in a step-by-step, situation-by-situation process. And through both of them and a couple of other, you know, psychology professors and doctors that I've read, it's just that it's all the same common theme, is just making sure that you're not identifying with the thing that you don't feel good about. Just like how people, they almost identify as someone who can never lose weight, or they identify as someone who can never exercise. Commonly, you'll hear them say, like, this just isn't for me. I'm like, what do you mean it isn't for you? Like, your body was made for this. And if you have, legs that work, you are blessed to be able to walk. You are blessed with hands. You are blessed with these senses. They're meant to be used and things like that. So we just have to be careful about like how we're identifying as people versus just things that are happening or things that we do.
It's hard. It really is. So quick little insert here. I Googled the book by Alexis, and it's Find Your Fuck Yeah, Stop Censoring Who You Are and Discover What You Really Want. You can get it, according to the Google, on Audible, Apple, Google Play, Amazon, anything. So I will be.
And her Audible, she
downloading
reads it.
Does she really?
I love that. That's the best.
Yes.
That's the best.
And she also has a podcast called Call Me When You Get This. This is like the most shameless plug. Like, I'm like, guest star. I'm like,
I don't even care. I'm so pumped.
But this is what we do. We got to promote our friends.
Yeah, it's very relevant information. She's great. But so she also has a podcast. It's called Call Me When You Get This. And she like didn't want to have a structured podcast like this. Really intimidated her in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
that's so scary.
It can be intimidating, And so she decided she just wanted to have a podcast where it almost sounded like she was leaving a voicemail for a friend. And so her podcasts are like really sparse. And whenever she gets back on after not being there for a while, she's like, hey, I know things have been really busy, but I just wanted to call and say, hey. And then she
I love it.
This super useful, like juicy pep talk with like some scientific evidence, like marination. Like, it's so good.
We need to be friends with her too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
it's
great.
Decided.
She's wonderful. Like, if you want all the brain hacks from lizard brain to present, she's like.
I don't even understand any of that, so I'm gonna need to get the book and just absorb.
Oh, it's so good.
The Power of Habit is another really amazing one, aside from like Brene Brown and from a health perspective, like Kelly LeVeque. Me and you, Kelsey, have talked about her at the bar before. I love hers. Yeah. Actually, I got really into Max. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Gouve. I don't know if you know who he is. Really attractive, 30-year-old blonde. I'll send you the link. Good looking guy. He's
do we notice like the third adjective about this guy? Really attractive.
Really? You know what? Men do it, women can do it too. So
look, I support it. It makes me want to go listen and read and whatever.
He's amazing. I promise you would love his stuff. So his mom had I think Alzheimer's. It was Alzheimer's dementia, and he was affected by it. He wanted to understand how food affected mental health. I'm like super. For those who don't know me, I'm a super nerd. I believe in gut health, microbiomes. Like, I'll talk to you all day about like your gut health and candida.
You're big
and
on
weird
the food and everything in the body.
Yeah.
It fascinates
me.
You have to be
careful though, because when it comes to gut health and hormones, we know the least about them, but there's the most published about them, like as hypotheticals. So there's a lot of people that like cross those boundaries in a bad way, but it's very like gut health is so important, like so important.
Well, so this is why I think you would love Max. He talked about like lectins have gotten a bad rap over the years, and this is what you've talked about, and you talked about this a little bit in the podcast too, is like fad diets, and I think overall, like you said, overall health is what you should be concerned about, not being keto, not being paleo or whatever. I mean, if you're allergic to something, like, if you're celiac, then, you're gluten-free for a reason, all that kind of stuff. But he goes into very basic, like, bad and good things. Like, this is how we perceive bad, and this is really how you should see good and bad. It's not how we are like, pasta, whole wheat pasta, bad, but yet brown rice pasta, better. And he actually breaks down the macronutrients, and he's like, is it better though if you don't have an issue with it? So I love his stuff too. Is absolutely amazing to like, and it helps with people who have been trained in a diet culture to start asking questions.
Yes. And like we talked about in the podcast too, like asking questions is the most important part because, you don't have to wait for a problem to occur to know that you need to address something. Like not everything has to be a problem in order for it to be improved. What business would ever survive if they were just constantly waiting until, they bankrupted to do anything better than what they're doing now? But yeah, it's just one of those scenarios where like the more questions you can ask and the more like information, which I want to be careful saying this because I think a lot of people can kind of do paralysis by analysis where they just feed on the information, feed on the information, feed on it, but they never look into like the validation of that information. They never look into the quality of the information or who's saying it or applying it. Even let's go that direction. Other way around, they don't go into actually putting those things and seeing if they work for them. And I think that one of the really good things that is touched on with what you're talking about, like looking at good and bad, it's really important for us to identify that, without sounding like a 70-year-old hippie that I am, look at the culture that we're in. Everything is polarized, right? Like you either think this way about the issue, and if you don't, you're with them. You better think this way about the issue. And if you don't think that exact way about every single detail, you're with them. And now everyone is actually in a middle ground, but no one wants to acknowledge it. And it's the same way with nutrition. Like you don't have to be keto to take some really important points away from keto. You don't have to be vegan and, in order to take really important points away from being vegan. There's benefits to all these different things, but really at the end of the day, if someone's looking for a diet that works for them, any diet, that does what you're wanting it to do works. So like if you're wanting to lose weight, every diet's going to work as long as you're in a calorie deficit. If you're wanting to gain weight, every diet's going to work as long as you're in a calorie surplus. And I think a lot of people, they forget that you can gain weight on whole foods that come from the earth, just as you can gain weight on cheeseburgers and Flamin' Hot Cheetos. For example.
I mean, look, there are some days I get to dinner and I'm like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to eat anything in my pantry.
Like, I'm gonna
have a glass of bourbon and some Cheetos. And that's just what it's gonna be.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Because then the next day I wake up and it's like, okay, new day, no more Cheetos, whatever. We'll move on.
They're gone.
Right? So quarantine is weird. We're drinking. We're having a good time. What is the weirdest habit you have developed in the last 2 months?
Has it been 2 months? I feel like it's been 4 years.
We're saying 2 months because my quarantine and work from home started on March 17th.
Yeah, mine started like a long time ago.
Yeah, mine March 13th. I
feel like I was 17 when it started, but here we are.
It's been 84 years.
I have started counting my gray hairs. I'm like this in the mirror, and I'm like, okay, this one's gray. This one's gray, and it's just it's very scary.
It's going to be bourbon and brunettes after the end of quarantine.
No, it's going to be bourbon and grays. Let's be honest, we're old. No, but we all develop weird habits. I know we do because you don't have to see other people for extended periods of time.
Yeah. Given there are two different parts of the brain that store habits in very different ways.
Kelsey, so what's your weirdest habit?
We're in our short-term one. I don't know if I have like a weird one though, other than I've developed a recent like obsession with Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Perfect.
Oh, by the way, nutritionist, but I hate cooking. All of a sudden I've been cooking. I'm like Martha Stewart up there without the street cred. And I'm in the kitchen.
Whoever Ginger is just gave me some advice on my hair.
Yeah, no, I work with Ginger.
She said, don't put your hair, it won't grow back. You know what? It doesn't have to grow back. Because if it doesn't grow back, that means no more grays.
You'll have thin hair, but it's gray. It's not gray.
No more grays, and I'll be fine.
There you go.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted your weird habit. Go.
I mean, I don't think there's nothing really weird. You know, just new, different. Like it's
What's
not
new?
Like, I've new?
Okay, go with
practice
new.
picking things up with my toes. Like I feel like that would be weird.
What would you
What?
say? What did you say? I'm sorry. Excuse me. I didn't hear that.
Did you develop a toe fetish? Is that what you're trying to tell
No.
us?
I've had that since I was little. Just picking things up with my toes.
Hold on, you pick things up?
I didn't know everyone could do that.
I do that too. It's totally normal. No,
Well,
I do.
Not everyone
You
can
drop-
do it.
You drop a pin on the floor, I'm picking it up with my feet. It's
Pick it up with
happening.
your feet. Yeah, it's nice.
Just
little
because you can doesn't mean you should.
I'll tell you that next time.
Bring it on. Just because I can pick my nose in public doesn't mean I should.
It's what happens when you my parents my dad calls it, because it's not his side of the family that has this genetic mutation. It's called monkey toes. We call it monkey toes. It's
because it's like
picking things up with the feet.
monkeys do that with all 4 appendages, and now we do too. So
Okay.
Now,
bitch.
I don't know if it's this or the podcast. We talked about big feet, but I actually have a funny story. I'll do a quick 2 really funny stories. My sister loves telling a story. She loves telling all embarrassing stories about me, but one specific embarrassing story when she lives in New York City. We were on a subway going somewhere. I'm not really sure, but either way, we'd probably
like a Sex in the City episode.
Oh, that I wanted my life to be a Sex in the City episode. I want to be Sarah Jessica Parker with the window open, and I want to be like, today, Big loved me, but I didn't know how I felt. I just wanted to be like a whole philosophical thing.
But here you are in the Midwest, living by a park. You don't.
Yep.
This is
with a ring light. Here we are. So
influencer.
Either way, I was in the subway and there was a guy rapping about things in the subway, and I had my feet out in my sandals, and all of a sudden my sister's husband's across from me, and he sees my feet go underneath as far as possible in the seat. He's like, what's going on over there? I was like, I don't want them to talk about my feet. I don't want them to rap about my feet. And so now to this day, my sister and I have a niece and a nephew now, little kids, and my sister there's a kids station. It's with squares and shapes. What is it called? Do you guys know any kids shows? It's like something boom square box. No, it's with shapes. Anyway, we'll post it to the bottom of this if people are really entertained with it. But if
our viewers want to watch a children's show?
It's a kid's cartoon song with a bunch of shapes beatboxing to Big Feet. And they sent it to me one morning. I wake up and it's like, talk about them big feet. And I woke up that morning. My sister sent me this like beatbox kid show of shapes singing about big feet. And I was like, I hate you so much.
You're like, that's really rude.
Big block something. Big block. That is the name of it. I will figure it out, but that big block is
Those are
part
the
of it.
types of family jokes that like cut deep though.
I am very thankful for a size 8 at this moment in time.
You know what? You should be.
I don't know how I would feel if somebody sent me a video about somebody rapping about something I'm like not comfortable with. AKA Sir Mix-a-Lot, you know.
Oh yeah.
It is definitely big block. I've confirmed.
Is it?
Yep. I had a Google search.
Liz is over here like
Kanye West.
Kanye.
Can
get some Yeezy?
Did anybody watch the video of Kim Kardashian trying to do a commercial for COVID, and her kids are running up on her, and you could tell she doesn't have any help? Yeah, and she's like, I've got to finally parent now. Yes, bitch. Yes, you've got to parent.
How do I be a mom? Well, maybe don't have children. Personal preference.
Yeah, but we don't want to mother shame.
No, we don't. I don't have children, and I choose not to have children.
Yeah.
So for people who do choose to have children, I know that right now school and care and all of that is a challenge. I work with, I think my whole corporate team is moms, and it's been a struggle, and I madly respect the fact that they're trying to juggle everything right now because my children would not make it because I couldn't do it. My dog has come close to not surviving because I can't.
I feel bad for people, but then at the same time, I'm like, I've had to sit in my own mistakes too, you know? You have an unplanned child that you now have to deal with during quarantine.
Liz goes, we call them blessings. Yeah.
I love you, Liz. She's my best friend. She's amazing.
They are your blessings and not mine. Okay, wait. Are we ready for rapid fire questions?
I think tis is the time.
Okay, Kelsey, get your blonde wig.
Okay. I might have to come out of frame for this.
Hold on.
Okay, do it. It's fine. You've got 30 seconds and go.
Oh my God.
Abby's always trying to time people. Here, I brought the whole kit and caboodle for this. Hold on.
Get the lights.
What? I got 12 lights. I bought them on Amazon.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this headband.
It's supposed to. This is supposed to rotate. Hold on. How does it rotate? Nope.
I don't know.
Here we go. I
gotta resituate.
Okay.
This tequila. Oh yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Wait, Elena's got it to like slow music.
Oh, my hair and makeup friends are like, bitch, get yourself together.
We can still see your real hair, so can you please fix that?
All right, we've all got our own wigs on.
Oh God.
I feel like this flower crown is better than last week's flower crown for me.
Well, that's because Brad kept calling it a flower crown, and you're like, it's a lei. It's a lei, okay?
It was literally a lei that I tied in a knot to fit my head. So
this screen is backwards.
Uh-oh. Were you fixing the wrong side?
Yeah.
Are you a little lopsided?
Put it on the wrong side, like the front side. You've got like a, what do you call that? Not a mohawk, but oh yes, Sam. That is indeed a disco ball.
Elena, show us what ready. Your disco ball can
We're ready to party.
Beats.
Okay, there we go. Okay. I got it.
This is like a slow dance. I feel like this is like a prom slow dance light show.
It is. And especially because you're wearing something pretty, so it makes you look like
Liz, do you have a fog machine? Because I'll come get it from you tomorrow, if you've got one. I got you,
borrow
girl.
It, or I don't know which color I should show. Do I do warm colors or cold colors?
You know what?
Okay. Rapid fire questions.
And Kelsey is a blonde now. This is so exciting.
So this is rapid fire question with the blondes.
I am the blondest of the Bourbon and Blondes.
Boom. All right.
Ooh,
let's see.
Who's asking first?
Let's ask Kelsey 10 questions, and then
this is where our live last week turned from 30 minutes into an hour and 42.
Oh, she's got glass. Damn, I don't have enough. I don't have the proper gear here. Sam,
look, like I don't have much makeup on today, so
this is not cute.
Sam, this disco ball was just arrived. This is what, when I was with you, Tyler had texted me, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, I opened your Amazon package. Your disco ball light is on the kitchen table."
Oh, sorry. Sorry you opened my mail. Rude.
I would have responded like, so you mean the party has arrived?
I know. I was like, we gonna get it on this weekend. We gonna party. Okay. So
like
here we go.
So we're asking Kelsey first.
Yes.
Okay.
Kelsey.
Yes.
What is the dumbest way?
Fire, so they have to go fast, you guys.
Am I timed, or do I just need to
you have to go fast.
Just ignore Abby. So what's the dumbest way you've been injured?
The dumbest way? Oh, jumping into a homemade water slide. Cracked my knee wide open.
So a tart.
In the middle of nowhere in Missouri. It's horrible.
Oh.
Don't do that.
Hold on. It was a water slide. Was there...
Yeah, there's like a
pool?
crazy older gentleman that built a petting zoo of alligators and a giant water slide on his property.
Kelsey, I'm concerned for your life.
I was in like 6th grade. It was a blast. But anyway,
you were playing with alligators in a water slide in 6th. Even
This
more
is
concerned.
okay, maybe 8th grade. No, it's like 8th grade. But anywho,
no one's
there was
counting.
a step that I couldn't see in the little whirlpool area, and I like jumped down on it, and then I slipped and knocked my knee on the edge.
This was Joe Exotic.
It was
that weird.
Joe Exotic.
Okay, next question. What is your kryptonite?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And Flamin' Hot Cheetos at the moment.
What
it was
is
like
your
the other villain that came in mid-movie to like fight me.
Yes.
was the Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is the heavily play? What song is heavily played on your music list right now?
Ooh, Lady Gaga's new song. Oh dear God.
I don't know what it's called.
It escapes me.
If you've got Spotify or Apple Music, it should be pretty
I was
quick
about
to
to say,
find.
I was like, this should be fast.
Here, play it. We have. I tried to dance and I dropped the microphone. Here we are.
Drunk quarantine things really working
Keep
out
it
for
love.
you. Ooh,
Okay.
good song, good song, good song. Support. Oh, I have to ask the next question.
Little sample.
Um,
Don't copyright.
They'll throw us
Don't
off of
have-
YouTube.
and Facebook. Facebook's doing it. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
Ooh, good answer.
Favorite kind of pizza?
Buffalo chicken with pineapple. And anyone who wants to say pineapple does not belong on pizza, does not belong in my life. So
Great.
Oh my God, wait,
Pineapple's
would you-
delicious.
Would you eat a Flamin' Hot Cheeto pineapple pizza?
I already have because I was really influenced.
Who's counting?
It was not because I was really influenced. I mean, I probably would have done it sober too, but
Okay,
I was
okay,
influenced in it.
Next question is, what is the worst type of alcohol? Go.
Probably vodka.
Oh yeah, it's like weird.
Agreed.
No flavor.
Yeah. It's hard
Just-
to find a good one.
I
What
just
is
need
the-
like a Uzi and a Russian if I drink vodka.
And I used to work at Sub-Zero. I was like, what's it called? So it was like not the place for me, but I didn't want to work across the street at the whiskey house because
Ooh,
that
Mark
would got
coming
me in
at us
trouble.
on the pizza choice. Wait. There's
Yeah,
no pineapple on that, but it's
Mark!
good.
Oh, I love a Mark Cohen.
Wait, do you know
Hey,
Mark?
Mark.
Yes, we went to
Cheer up.
Mark together. He works at
Oh.
Baltimore now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing some stuff with him. He's great. We love him.
I love Mark.
We miss you, Mark. Okay, so
What
where was?
about Wait, they're engaged now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were. I won't bring up.
Precious. Precious.
I think they were supposed, like, they're going to get married, or the wedding was
They're
supposed to
going to.
happen. Okay,
It's sometime
know-
in the future.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I
Not
know
them
the
going
wedding.
to-
I know the wedding is soon, and being someone who helps plan weddings, I know it's a very sensitive subject right now because we're rescheduling for the
So
fall
well
thing.
done
So-
on bringing
Hot
it
topic,
up.
though. Hot topic.
okay, here we are.
Okay.
So 3 words to describe yourself.
Not very rapid fire.
Sorry. Oh, getting married. Oh, well, yeah. Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
Sorry, Mark.
And then Elena goes, someone who works with people in wedding planning. I know it's very sensitive, but I'm going to bring it up anyway.
It's a hot
Well,
topic too.
It is. But let's just congratulate Mark on getting married and then get back to the rapid fire questions. Go.
so-
3 personality traits. Okay. Obnoxious. Introspective. And I think fun.
Yes.
Generally
I
fun.
like it.
Mhm. Support. My next question, Elena, you're not allowed to answer this. What is your most useless talent?
Probably looking at things from all directions because it usually ends in like a spiral and no answers.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
that's my super stupid superpower.
Agree. Okay, Elena, answer. What is your most useless talent?
Well, I didn't know we were okay. Well, Abby's only saying that because on the last podcast,
She asked
said
the question of our last guest and didn't allow him to answer, and then answered for herself. So it was a show and tell.
you should be familiar with that. So anyway, we'll do one last question for Kelsey. Let's see. What best describes you when you're drunk?
Adjective, right?
Yeah.
Pick one adjective to describe you when you're drunk.
Probably energetic AF.
No, I like
I've
it.
been known to do round-offs down the road at Mardi Gras. So.
I'm sorry. I support this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a quality I can say into my 30s I have.
Yeah. Then
Mine's
I just
mine's sleepy. Like mine would be behind the trash can at Mardi Gras.
Place.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So flip it and reverse it. So Kelsey, you ask me and Abby questions. Well, whatever you want to ask. 10 questions.
Let's do. What is one thing you would put on your bucket list?
Easily, I can say that I want to, for 2 to 3 months, I want to travel through the south of Chile, through like Patagonia. And I want to camp and backpack and hike like the south of Chile. And I want to see penguins in person.
I will come with you.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah. I always told my dad I was going to end up in a van traveling. So,
well,
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What about you, Abs? Bucket list.
God. This is so stressful. Elena had the perfect answer. How am I supposed to follow that up? On my bucket list, I would be able to create the perfect guide for what to do and what to see in St. Louis, and then be able to take anybody who wants to come to St. Louis and enjoy it on the tour.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like that. I love that.
Yeah. That'd be like so much fun.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing, but I just came up with it.
Yeah. No, love it.
I like it.
Okay. Let's do biggest man crush.
Javier Bardem. Sorry, was that quick? Was that too quick?
Okay. Colin Farrell.
Oh, second.
I just wanna spread him on my toast and eat him up.
I swear to God, I dated a guy in high school that looked just like Colin Farrell, and he drove a 68 Mustang. Good Lord. Actually, it was hilarious. He grew up with Mackie. You're joining in.
Bye-bye.
The question is, what's really happening with you joining in on our live?
Yeah.
But no.
Must be just waking up for the day. Get out of here.
I know, right? No, he doesn't fall asleep till 6 a.m. He wakes up around 4 p.m.
I hope you have a great day.
Oh, no. Yes. Liz. No. Was it his name Eric? No. Eric. Yes. It was Eric.
Like you can't remember.
No. Well, I dated him for a few months. It doesn't matter.
We don't have to talk about it.
I was only 17 years ago. It doesn't matter. But yes, that's exactly who I was talking about. And he had an old Mustang, and he had a speakerphone on it. And we used to go to Walgreens and like megaphone like people at Walgreens and scare the shit out of them and then drive away. This was my life as a teenager. It doesn't matter.
Dukes of Hazzard type.
Elena grew up in St. Charles.
There we go.
Hashtag no judgment.
Okay, next question. Go.
I'm really into Post Malone myself.
Oh, did you know he's coming out with a rosé? I'm so pumped.
Yes.
You know, I think I did see that. It had a long stem.
Yeah, it's like it's an
Yeah,
elongated
yeah.
bottle. Mm-hmm.
The classy bottle. Okay, this one is one of my favorite things to ask people, even like out at the bar, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
What is
Party
your
trick?
biggest pet peeve? Like the
People
thing that gets on your nerve that you like don't know why it gets on your nerves.
People chewing with their mouth clearly open. Like I will note somebody specifically in my life that I know that does this, not anyone on the call right now, but someone very close to me. And it's like eggs. Oh my God. Why its breakfast foods are so terrible. It's like a cow. It's so
moisture to it. There's a little bit of moisture and it makes it worse.
Yes. You're right.
You want to know? This is a recent pet peeve of mine.
I'm so excited.
Someone saying, I have a question, and then just
ask your question,
making a statement. And then I'm like, that's not a fucking question, actually.
Mackie, who's the person not washing their hands in the restroom?
The only person Mackie would know that's not using their hands or washing their hands in the bathroom is himself. Because we haven't been in public. We haven't been in public in 2 months. So, Mackie, what you got to share, boo?
Or Liz using Aldi's with an S. Aldi's. It's not a multi.
So unless you're going to several Aldi's.
That's a hardcore me.
My mom
hardcore me.
My mom said, I need to use the washer. I was like, can you use the washer instead? Like the washer. I'm going to use the washer. I was like, is it the washing machine or the washing machine? I'm confused on what machine you're using.
My dad goes, wash. Can you go wash these clothes? No.
Oh, yeah.
How about you take a drive down farty far and get out of here?
One of my biggest pet peeves is when people say really cliche things. Like really cliche things that just aren't true. Like good things happen to good people. I'm like, that's false.
Not a fact.
Not a fact. Or like, this was meant to be. It's like, oh yeah, Mother Earth, you know what's meant to be? Like, I just get very salty about it.
It's like, are we in Pocahontas?
Yeah. The colors of the wind. You should watch a video called Ho Quotes, or is it? I think it's called Ho Quotes. You know what I'm talking about? When she's like, be the good that you want to see in the world. And she's like, has her ass out in a crop top t-shirt. It's like, why are we using Gandhi's quotes with you half naked? I'm very confused right now.
It's like influencers
because we're empowered.
TikTok dance videos and they're like, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
Bitch, this is not a change. You're dancing naked. What are you doing?
Same as last week, homie. Like, still the same shit. Different fucking day.
Every week now.
Right. Literally.
Good Lord, that's a great question.
Mardi Gras life.
Next question, go.
Ooh. Logic or creativity?
Logic.
Creativity.
Oh, right down the middle. That's interesting because I'm sitting in the middle here and I'm also like 50-50. Both of those are like integral parts of my being. Like I cannot choose.
I would say normally I like to be a very inquisitive person. With anyone says something to me, I like to be like, why? Tell me more. Where did you get that from? Where's the source from? But I like the creativity piece probably just that much more. Just like just the thought.
So much that we don't know. So it's kind of like piecing that with what could be. Yeah, no, that's a huge draw. Why logic for you, Abby?
Because emotions and people don't make sense and numbers and science do. So if I can rationalize something, I'm in. If I can't, I'm fucked. I can't.
I love that for you.
Yeah. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And people are like, I feel this way. I'm like, literally, I don't understand. Thank you.
I tell people, I'm like, your feelings aren't facts, but they're valid.
So true. So fucking true.
Thank you for your broadcast, but no.
No, thank you.
Right.
Oh. If you could get a yacht when you have a yacht.
When? Rude. Yes. Accurate question.
What would you name it? What will you name it? Mine's gonna be that bitch.
Oh, damn. I want something semi grotesque and ironic, but I can't think of anything like. It was funny because when I saw that question, because I put it down on this sheet, I had
didn't
something
even know it was on here.
I had something come to mind, and I was like, "Ooh, good for you!" But now I can't fucking remember what it is.
A yacht.
It was just like big balls, like something just like obnoxious that a fucking man would put, like some incompetent, insecure man
like
would put. But I would just like,
or something ridiculous.
Yeah. But just, and then you would see my ass driving and be like, "Yeah, bitches!" Like,
I feel like if that were the case and you reached out to Tech Nine, they would like make you your own like boat yacht theme song for like a music video.
And with like a full ass DJ booth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you could have like Nelly like drop the chorus.
Boats and Hoes 14 or Bitches
14.
and Sangria. I mean, there's probably Boats and Hoes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Makes it sound like there's going to be like minors on the premise.
Probably so not. Try for like 21.
I don't know minors. I don't know minors.
Boats and Hoes 30.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Boats and Hoes and Blondes.
That would attract all the men, really.
Yeah, well,
maybe I'll just name it Blonde.
It's like a bad milkshake song.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
my milkshake brings all the boys.
Mm-hmm. Do we have time for another one?
Yes, hell yeah.
Ooh, morning or night person?
Night.
Morning.
I'm morning as well.
Mm-hmm. It's very annoying. I hate it about myself.
So on topic, so on brand. Let's talk about your morning and night routines.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to go first on this fun topic?
I'm in.
Okay.
Morning routine. Alarm. Walk the dog. Make coffee. Read The Economist. Check email. Bathe. Start the day. Nighttime routine.
You bathe every day?
Yes, Elena.
Let's do morning, night.
I just only wash my hair once a week.
Same. Every Sunday.
That's healthy.
Good for you. Oh,
and then I wash my bangs on Thursdays. So you got some fresh locks going on here.
Wait, you wash your bangs and your hair on different days?
Yeah, like I wash all of it on Sunday, and then like the bangs tend to get a little bit greasier because I like work out or whatever, and so I just give these a little zhuzh, and then all of it again on the following Sunday.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, Elena, your morning routine.
Well, my morning routine, non-existent. I am more of an evening person. I do like accomplishing things during the day, so I like to work out first thing in the morning.
Okay, hold on. I can't let you have an out on this one.
Have a what?
You doing your morning routine right now?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were gonna be like, forget the morning routine. Here's my evening. I was like, you do something.
Well, no. So my morning routine, I like to work out in the morning. Like if I don't work out in the morning, it's very unlikely that I'll work out in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll and then I'll eat after I do that. And then actually, I will say I was inspired by something you posted, Kelsey, because you posted something about Mondays and having this
no Monday rule.
Yeah. But I actually really loved it. So I started doing bakery items during the week so I could have a really lovely thing to eat. So I'm my father's child. I don't know if this is like a Eastern European thing, but I love coffee and a bakery item.
I have this week's been coffee cake. That's what I made this week. So I've had coffee cake and my coffee together every morning.
That sounds I may come to your house and steal your coffee cake.
Yeah.
So,
and like you said, if you make it every week. So if you guys aren't familiar with my logic here, we don't start diets. We don't work out on Monday. We don't start diets on Monday. And we make like a ritualistic baked good on Monday morning because we also don't work out. So it's like you have extra time.
Yeah.
Make a baked treat and it just really kicks off your Monday. Like you just get some fun. you know, it's a good time.
I agree. So I think it's important. So I took a little something from what you posted. I have to work out personally on Mondays or I'm not motivated.
Which
so
is
what
cool.
and so what I love what you posted was that you gave yourself a little treat. And to say I hate Mondays with work is an understatement. So I am not motivated. I'm frustrated and I'm annoyed with Mondays. And I saw you posted it and I was like, if I had like a little dessert treat and a coffee, little
Like
breakfast in the morning.
Monday with.
Wait, you guys, do you see Liz's comment? I want to put it up, but
I get baked
don't know if I can.
I get baked on Monday. Liz is literally my most favorite human being in the entire world. She said she gets baked on Monday mornings, which I love her. She's got two. She gets. Fine. Well, she has two little children at home that I can only imagine she probably wants to get more than baked on a Monday morning.
Weeks are hard. Mondays suck.
And oh God, and working full time and being the most awesome mom and most awesome human being that I know. Liz is my favorite human in the entire world. But no. So I took your advice and I was like, I'm going to make some baked goods in the week and I'm going to enjoy them right when I have my coffee. So I'm going to work out. I'm going to have my coffee in the morning and I'm going to have my baked good. And then I'll have like eggs in a scramble. Like I do a veggie scramble afterwards.
Yeah, still get your protein. So you're still putting in the good, even though you're giving yourself a little bit of like the good and the bad.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's great. I loved your advice because it gives me something, especially during the quarantine. It gives me something to look forward to. And I don't know, I
get to have like a treat and like do shit I hate.
Yeah. Answer email, whatever it is, like answer emails, just knocking shit out. I don't know. I'm very fucking grumpy on Monday.
Job, like everyone has something about their job or their career or their business or whatever that they hate doing. And another thing I do is I don't put those tasks on Monday. I save them for Friday. So I'm also looking forward to the end of the day. And so I like get through them. Like I don't like.
You can just bang, 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 knock them out.
Yeah. Done. I'm just like, get out of my face. I got things to do. Yeah.
I love it.
You have that luxury.
Yeah.
So we want to do one last one each person. So
one more question.
Go.
Okay.
First job ever.
Oh.
Ooh, this is scary. I worked at a place called Pump It Up. Not a gym. It was a children's.
Like a gym.
It was a children's party place with inflatable. It was like moon bounces inside, and we would do moon bounce room 1 and moon bounce room 2, and then we'd do pizza and cake. And I had to wear khakis.
That was the part of your job that you hated, yeah?
It was really the kid who shit in the moon bounce that I had to clean up that I hated. But yeah, the khakis also sucked.
I too had to wear khakis at my first job dancing at the Six Flags.
What?
We had a uniform that we had to wear to literally walk into the park and walk out of the park. Other than that,
I didn't know there were dancers at Six Flags.
Yeah, they're in the shows.
Yeah, but you had to wear khakis in and out. Yes. Okay.
McDonald's.
Ooh, you just kind of snuck that in there.
Well, it
wasn't truly McDonald's because I think I worked for my grandpa. He had a woodworking shop and he like paid me to, I don't know, not use the saw, but like paint everything.
Yeah.
And so that was probably
like family businesses, then we got to run this back.
But did he pay you cash or did he file your taxes?
No, well, yeah, I don't know if I had taxes at 14 years old, but
yeah, no, McDonald's counts that. It's McDonald's.
$10 a week.
The ironic part about working at McDonald's, I'll tell you this. So I can remember like it was yesterday, going into my first interview for McDonald's, and I was so nervous to get the job. I made $5.25 an hour. We're gonna push that aside. So a year later, my girlfriend's
aren't they making
my
$13 now?
Yeah. So my two girlfriends, when I was 16 years old, my two girlfriends, so I got that job when I was like 15 and a half. And my two girlfriends ended up working at the casino at 16. Or when I was 16, they were 18. And so my job out of working at McDonald's was working for a club venue at a casino at 16 years old. So I went from making $5.25 to making $8 an hour plus tips. My life was changed forever.
Drastically.
Yeah.
Plus tips?
Yeah.
Plus
Oh,
tips.
girl, I was making.
And you knew she was raking
working
those tips in. Yeah.
I was working and I was making, I mean, hundreds of dollars on the weekends. And if we had private events, I was making more money. This is why, I mean, we won't dig into this because we talked about this last podcast, but I dropped out of high school because like I was making more money than most fucking 28-year-olds are now. Like I was making such good money. It was stupid. But, you know, it was a lesson learned.
Yeah.
Learn.
Yeah.
Dang.
Neat.
Okay,
All right.
Elena, last question for Kelsey. Go.
All right. So, your biggest pet peeve.
My biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
Oh, I already said this one. Whenever people say really cliche things.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We'll
Were you
jump
a
back
participant in this podcast episode, or?
Well, I thought I was, but I guess I wasn't that part.
You know what? It was so good that she wants to relive it twice. Let the woman.
I mean, it is good because when people say cliche shit, you're like, snip, snip.
We'll just jump back. So, how about this is more related to myself. What's your favorite like travel destination? What's your dream destination? Like where do you want to go to?
I would love to go back to Ireland 500 more times. I'm sure Abby feels the same way after her trip. But I really had my eyes on like Switzerland lately.
Ooh, they have a lot of really good wineries, FYI.
Yeah, it was like I just want like a really like moody, woodsy, earthy experience of like just like being surrounded by absolute breathtaking beauty.
Yeah,
so
I stayed at a B&B at the bottom of Lake Lucerne, so I'll have to send you that information if you ever go to Switzerland because it was. I like opened the shutters, you know, very like classical movie.
Oh my god!
I opened the shutters of my Airbnb room, and it's like Lake Lucerne, and then the fucking Alps, and I'm like, I can't afford this.
No, I had a very similar experience with my brother, and it was the middle of a jazz festival, and we literally couldn't afford it, but we were stuck near Lucerne. We were in Vevey, so not far from Lucerne, and it smelled like bread, butter, and amazingness. It was the most incredible place I've ever been in. It's perfect. Like
it's perfect.
So good.
Yes, agree. Okay, last question of the live. What is the most petty thing you've ever done?
Oh.
I live for this question.
Okay, Abby, how about you start? Because I don't know.
I asked it. You two
I feel like it's gonna take me a minute.
Nope, it should be pretty quick.
I will admittedly say I'm one of the least petty people.
That's true. That's true.
I really have to you have to like kill an animal in front of me for me to even be like, you don't deserve to live in this world. Because I'm pretty like accepting of a lot. I have a high tolerance for people and human beings.
So I can start with a petty thing I've done recently.
Okay.
Because I tend to be a little bit petty. So in my apartment building, the elevators are the old school ones where you open one door and then you open the next. They're not automatic. And that means that the call button, it's like you have to push it and it comes. But if somebody lets the elevator doors close and they don't hit their floor button before you call it to your floor, it's like there's like a mismatch. So it just like goes wherever you hit the button first. It doesn't like log an order. So I get in the elevator, I hit 1, because I'm walking my dog, but I hit 1 before or after somebody else hits their floor to bring the elevator to their floor. It's floor 3. And so it gets to floor 3 and I am just standing there and there's like a little window pane in the elevator and the person is standing there like surprised there's somebody on the elevator and my hand is like hidden, but it's holding the first floor button down. So it stops on floor 3, but they see me. We make eye contact and it goes just straight down to floor 1 because I don't have time to let you on the elevator. So I'm just going to go keep going.
Okay.
So like, don't call the elevator to your floor when I'm in it because we're just going to pass you right on by.
Go right past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's very petty because I always make sure to make eye contact with whomever has called my elevator.
I feel like that's a special level of petty, like on top
You're
of
welcome.
the pettiness.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Don't fuck with my elevator ride. I have to go 7 floors. I don't need stops.
I did get in a fight with a neighbor recently.
Not
Not a physical altercation, although I would have loved to, because you know what's better to get into a physical altercation during quarantine. There was a neighbor of mine who I've carried a lot of hate in my heart for very, very many of years, and it is overwhelming for me because I want to literally use people's face as a human punching bag. So I have to
made me think of my petty maneuver. Okay, keep going.
Well, so I have to release my petty anger before it gets too deep because of the fact that I'm someone who is extremely scrappy if given the opportunity. So
Charles coming out and I love it.
Yeah, something like that. So don't meet me at Atomic Cowboy and try to fight me on the dance floor because that's happened before.
No.
They would see the pistol come out too.
Raj said, "Oh my, yeah, no, don't do that.
You're not allowed back to Atomic."
No, so I mean, no, we got enough friends there, but like, I had a neighbor that came up and we had a few people in the backyard within beyond 6 feet quarantine. And we were all just talking because I live in a building with all my like great friends and I'm lucky for that. And because of that, like we talk outside on occasion, like that's just what fucking happens. So either way, we were outside talking and this actually wasn't the time that she came up and had a conversation. She said, we had somebody else over that was like way beyond 10 feet that was dropping something off. And she came over to say, have you watched the news to see what they've been saying about quarantine? And I was like, is this chick drunk? Like what's going on? And she's also screamed out her front porch at us multiple times and she's bitched about the noise at 9:00 at night. So I know she's like a pain in the ass either way. So anyway, she complained to me about this person and I don't like somebody telling me what to do on my own property because she literally came on my property to tell me this. She's hundreds of feet. Yeah, she was hundreds of feet away and it wasn't affecting her at all. And I let it go. And then she came back a second time. And now I'm the kind of human being who's I've held hours of emotion of what I would say to you in my head. And it all came out all at once. And it was like a wrath of fire that came out of me. I was
like you had the opportunity to take all those thoughts. You're like, I should have said this. I should have said that. You were able to like have a second chance. And not a lot of people get that chance. So you took one for the team.
I try to be thankful for it. But you know, when you black out, when you're so angry and you're like, I'm not sure exactly what I said. So I could have called her a stupid little cunt. And I hope you fuck your stupid pug piece of shit too. Like she had a dog with her. I don't know.
We're live right now.
I'm just saying I was really angry.
It is relatable. She's not the only one.
Yes, Raj. Yes, it is.
Yes, that is the neighbor that hates the noise.
Helio.
And
Raj, do you know Kelsey? Say hi.
The language.
Recognize me.
It is nothing you don't already know, Raj.
Shh.
This woman,
Raj?
we feel sorry for her little pug because we were going to adopt it because we're like, you can't live in a healthy home in what you're already in. Like, we'll just adopt you as a dog because this woman cannot treat you right in your home that you're currently in. So anyway, she tried to come over and tell us. And I immediately was like, listen, I get what you're saying. And you're on my property right now within the same distance that we all are in. And I'm like, you have no valid point. You probably just want to tell. Do you ever do this thing? This is the shame thing that we talk about. I felt guilty for going off on her because I was like, maybe this is somebody's grandma that doesn't know better. This is the downward spiral that I went on to. I was like, maybe this is someone's grandmother that I don't know. And I had somebody park in my parking spot and I did the same thing. And I try to like give them forgiveness. I was like, maybe this is somebody taking care of an elderly person. I try to give compassion. And I feel like every single time I give compassion, it's like, nope, tricked you. Like this time.
Joke's on you.
You can't like second guess intuition either. You know what I'm saying? Because there's two sides to that coin. It's like either you're doing someone a service because you're telling them someone that absolutely no one else has ever like told them before. And as a consequence, they are now like the passive aggressive individual that they are. And you're just making everything right in the world. And then there's the other side of the coin where
that's her.
Like we have accomplished that without offending the woman and ripping her down. You know, there's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
No, so I heard the neighbors across the street actually laugh when we were ripping her a new one because I know for a fact that I try to give people their own psychological freedom, I guess you could say. So, you know, somebody's like a level of crazy. Thank you. That dog is miserable being judged by that lady every day.
Steve,
I totally
you do not
agree with you,
support
Steve.
this. Come on. No.
Steve, I actually said we jokingly, as a crew of people who live on this street, said that we should put a no pugs allowed sign. And we're like, we cannot judge the pug for the shitty owner. Like we should put her face.
It's not the dog's fault.
But I try to consider her fucked up mental shit on top of it. Like I try to like consider maybe she's a lonely woman who doesn't have anything else better to go on than like to come over to my house and tell me how to live my life.
Wait, is she the one who yelled at me?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's been quarantined, so she's socializing.
No, it's not just the quarantine. Because it was like last summer she yelled at me because I was being loud at the bonfire outside.
So, and it's also what I made a point to her when she came over, which I've held in for 3.5 years, was like the law is that we don't have to be quiet at 9 o'clock because that's when she's complaining is not. Yeah. When she's complaining, it's been 9 or 10 o'clock. Like the law is 11 and 12. So if you've got a problem at 11,
turn up the music.
Well, and honestly,
it's a little.
It's your house, so I respect you. Like you pay. You pay for you pay for your house, you pay for your property. Like I respect you. So if you want to have a conversation, have a conversation. However,
like address a situation. Don't come in hot. Like I'm going to teach you something today. Like no, you're not.
Not today, homie. But I will say that if you want to have a conversation about it, I totally understand. I respect that you need it to be quiet or less quiet. But I will tell you that the laws in this area are a certain time. And if you've got a problem with it, you can call the police. But you don't really have a point to stand on. And this is also that we're having parties 3 times a year. It's not every weekend. It's 3 times a year. I don't know how many weekends are in a year, but it's 3 is not that much.
52.
Roughly 52. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here we are. This lady, swear to God.
352 isn't bad.
Wait, should our last question of the live be, Kelsey, what do you look like without the wig?
Oh, have they not seen me without the wig?
No, I think for the live, it's just been the wig. Oh.
Okay, let's let it down. These
The
lovely
bangs and the
locks.
hair and all of it and the glasses. Yep, there it is.
Whoop,
So
there it
Kelsey's
is.
not a blonde. Whoop.
I'm not a blonde. Duped you. But I am a non-symmetrical bang right now because
I'm not
Whatever.
symmetrical either.
Oh, and I
I'm-
don't need glasses either.
I've never been symmetrical in my life. But
Hold on,
Kelsey,
the glasses are aesthetic. They're not like needed.
Oh, they're like blue light glasses. Like, do we
Yeah.
know if that even works? You know what I'm saying? But just in case.
I mean, like, whatever.
When the
it's
club
fine.
lights are on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elena, give us your disco ball and we'll do an outro.
I need that disco ball like on this wig.
I know.
Here, well, do I need a song with it?
I wore this
Well,
for
I don't know.
Halloween.
How
And
does
people asked me who I was, and I was like, not myself. That's all I had.
I
I
mean,
don't know. Here,
I think
here
that's
we
all
go
you
with
need.
song.
Okay, well, while we figure out the wig and the disco ball, thank you guys for tuning in. This was supposed to be 30 minutes, yet here we are, an hour and 24. So we appreciate you listening to our chaos. Kelsey at Barbell Balance and barbellbalance.com. It's been a great time. And the podcast episode will be out next week. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye.
All of that, Elena. It's like the police are there.
Maybe they are.